Yes, a case that hasn't come to trial in 5 years and people are still in remand, it always does create a bit of disquiet, as I said about that article in the Daily Maverick last week. So, and I guess a lot of people think, because of the history of this country about detention without trial, that the state must be involved. But, if you look through the thing in detail, both sides have accused each other of delays. But when the Thulsie bail application last October was turned down by the judge, he basically said that he thinks he agreed with the prosecution that the case against them is credible. And he also said that, the defense have been responsible for more of the delays in the prosecution. So it's, it's one of those difficult situations where you'd think it's, way past time for the case to come to court, but then, what do you do when there are delays?
All right.
A lot of delays from the defense. I mean, there may be perfectly legitimate delays, but they are delays. Like the latest one is an application which came up in January, just before the case was about to start, applying to the High Court in Johannesburg, to return the case to the regional court, which is where it had been until October 2016, and then moved by general consent to the High Court. So that delay that application seems now to have introduced a delay of, I don't know, an indefinite number of months. I'm being told by officials that this case might not even come to trial this year now.
Peter, let's look at. I mentioned that they were 21 years old when they were jailed. You then suggested that, we shouldn't necessarily be fooled by the look of innocence. Your gut feel, and seeing that you have done a lot of research into Islamic State, etc., how do you view this?
Yeah.
And I am, I'm Muslim myself, and I must admit that I haven't come across very militant people in my community, people that would, want to join IS and stuff like never. And I'm in the media area. I haven't come across this. So for me, this is almost a shocker. And it's very difficult.
I can understand why it would be a shock to anybody in the Muslim community. But look, they're not the only people who have been accused of going to or wanting to go to join Islamic State in Syria and Iraq. Back then, when the Islamic State was pretty much still in control of a considerable territory in those countries. As you know, I think that there have been scores of people who've gone from this country, I believe. But look, I mean, if you look at the case against them, and I'm not a lawyer, so I hesitate to.
No, fine. Speak from a lay perspective. I'd like to hear your views.
I hesitate to venture into the territory, but you can divide the charges against them in some ways into two sections. One is that the allegations that they've tried to leave the country to go and join Islamic State in Syria, and that so that's something that they did, or they went to OR Tambo and they were stopped at the airport, and then they got allegedly. You can put allegedly in front of everything I'm saying because I'm quoting from the charge sheet, not verbatim. But then they got Lesotho passports and they went down to Maputo and tried to fly from there to I think probably in the first instance to Turkey, but then to go to. So that part is quite hard evidence. Then when those plans were frustrated, then they plotted to allegedly again, I'd say to blow up embassies and so on. And I mean, so that's a different sort of category. And I guess you could ask yourself whether these guys are not just too young and naive to have ever pulled anything of this off. But I mean, I'm not doubting that the evidence that they planned to. And if they had executed those plans, they would have been pretty serious consequences. But it just looks a bit like, where they're up to it. But I mean, look, if there's evidence that you tried to do this, then I don't question bona fides really of the state in this matter. And as I said, you could just, as a lay person, ask yourself, would any of this have come to anything? But, if there's evidence that's gathered that they're planning to do X, then you have to take it seriously.
In the meantime, obviously, his family and his attorney, who is working hard at, getting them freed and back into civil society, obviously would argue differently. They come from a very ordinary working class family living in the townships, and you kind of wonder where, if that is in fact the case, how and when were they conscientized to this way of thinking?
To be honest, I don't know that. They were. My understanding is, from what I've read on the charge, they were not brought up as Muslim. If I'm not mistaken, that they converted. You may know better.
I'm not too familiar with the case.
Yeah, not too many years before the alleged offences.
Right.
So they were people who were presumably, if this is all true. And, we need a court to rule on that. They were radicalized, possibly by what they were seeing abroad in Iraq and Syria, and, as a lot of young people were. And I don't know whether if I have my facts right, whether the radicalization preceded the conversion or vice versa. But that can happen,
Right.
And it's got nothing to do, I don't think, with the kind of upbringing they've had or the quality of their education or anything. It can happen,
Right.
In any culture, in any religion, people can lean towards extreme views.
Absolutely. Okay, that's where we're going to leave it. Thank you indeed for your time. We need to now hook up with attorney Nadeem Mohammed. Go well, and thank you.
Thank you, bye.
9:50 exactly. This is News and Views. We're going to take a short break, as always, and then be joined by Nadeem Mohammed, the attorney to the Thulsie Twins.
Once again, Maulana Timol will be doing the annual Qurbani. Many people in the villages live well below the poverty line and only eat meat on the days of Eid al-Adha. Support this cause at 1,785 Rand for 7 shares or 255 Rand per share. Contact Maulana Timol, Maulana Sajjad, Maulana Hamad or Maulana Abbad on 011-852-6324 or 8613. or 072-299-9268. All slaughtering will be supervised by a team of ulama. Visit www.operationqurbani.org.za.
Looking to get your kick? Kiki's have now reopened on 235 Matthews Maiwa Road in Durban. Head on over for the Taste with Kick. We offer something scrumptious for everyone in the family. Wraps, chicken tikka, burgers, tender grills, mocktails, milkshakes, and so much more. Corporate and events catering available. Visit our social media pages for more info or call 031 209 0119. Kiki's, the Taste with Kick.
These are the days of Eid. Make takbir wherever you are. These are the days of Eid. Allah.
Add a sprinkling of sparkles to your magical parties and special occasions with colorful party supplies and awesome helium balloons. Celebrate Eid al-Adha in style with our stunning range of decorations, disposable tableware, meat bags and tags, Ziploc and self-sealing bags, refuse bags, polystyrene and foil trays, pallet wrap, Econo wraps, buff and clear tape. Eid al-Adha essentials galore. Be sparkled by our wide range of baking ingredients, baking tools and bakeware. Stunning edible cake deco for Eid al-Adha. Sprinkles and Sparkles Party Shop. You want it all. Open Monday to Sunday. Visit us at 431 Inanda Road, Parlock, Durban, South Africa. Call 031 577 0604. Follow us on Instagram at Sprink and Spark and Facebook at Sprinkles and Sparkles.
Listen to something fresh. Listen to Salam Media.
9:53 exactly. We are now joined by attorney Nadeem Mohammed. He's the attorney to the Thulsie Twins, who have been jailed almost 5 years ago at the tender age of 21 years old. They are now almost, 26, 27 years old. And I guess the question to ask is, why has it taken so long that this case hasn't come to trial and finalized? Is this not a violation of their basic human rights? Assalamu alaikum, welcome to the program. And how do you respond to that, Nadim?
Wa alaikum salam. Julie, thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. There's a lot to be said about this matter. I know I'm told by your producer that we don't have too much time.
Such a pity, yes.
We could probably sit here for hours and we probably wouldn't get to the end of it. But really, in a nutshell, Julie, the conduct of the state and really the justice system when it comes to Brandon Lee, Salahuddin, and Yakin, Tony, Thulsie, is really that this legislature with which they are charged, being the protection of constitutional democracy against terrorism and related charges, related activities act, which is being abbreviated as POC-TARA, they believe really is the be all and end all of all legislature. And all persons who are charged in terms of this legislature must be measured by a different yardstick than any other criminal in the country. So much so that you could effectively have and I hate to say it, but you could effectively have a child rapist would not even be seen to be as serious a threat to society, community, the state, and economy as two individuals who are humble, pious Muslim boys such as Yakin and Salahuddin. Now, if we accept that, then our duty as attorneys and lawyers, there's a lot of us, 5 of us to be specific, advocates, very learned attorneys, representing the Thulsies, really our job is to ensure that every right matters. So what I mean by that is it doesn't matter how small the infringement of their right is, we take it up. And we take it up on a grand scale. And we ensure that the court, the justice system, and the state realizes that nothing is going to be simply swept under the carpet because you believe that this terror legislation is the be-all and end-all of all legislation in the country. If we start to accept that, then we are on a downward spiral and we are going to be at the mercy of the state and, moreover, organizations and agencies such as the CIA and the FBI, who we now know, it has been confirmed in a very recent newspaper article from the Daily Tribune in Durban, that they are conducting investigations on SA soil. So the question is going to be asked of South Africa and the justice system and the state, why are you allowing foreign agencies to conduct investigations on SA soil? Is it one, you believe that you're incompetent, or is it two, that you are simply going to be acting as the puppets of the American and by extension the Israeli foreign agency? So when it comes to the Thulsies, why has this matter not come to court? And I'll give you a very one-minute summary as to why. On the 18th of January of this year, the trial was supposed to start. It was set down for a period of 4 or 5 months. When we got to court, the state indicated that they were not ready. We opposed the opposition. The state was demanded to come and tender the reasons as to why they could not start with the trial. Long story short, eventually the postponement was granted by the judge. The judge sitting in the matter is Judge Kathleen. He was a very senior judge of the High Court, a very respectable judge. The matter could not continue. Whilst we were busy with preparation, counsel and I found a very crucial point, which is the issue related to the transfer of the matter from the regional court in Johannesburg to the High Court, and that the transfer itself was unlawful and unprocedural. We raised the issue. Our application was dismissed. We then sought leave to appeal the issue. Our application for leave to appeal was dismissed. We then decided we were going to proceed to the Supreme Court of Appeal. We started making preparations for that leave to defend at the Supreme Court and petitioning the Supreme Court of Appeal, which we are currently busy with as you see. In the interim, we started to prepare for our second bail application on new facts. The new facts surrounding the bail application are astounding. I don't want to deal with them too much now on air, obviously, because the matter is sub judice, but they are astounding. There is pages of new facts relating to why the accused Yakin and Salahuddin should be released on bail. When we were preparing this bail application, the court then of their own volition, decided that no interlocutory applications, including bail applications, can be brought until such time as the Supreme Court of Appeal leave is finalized. Now, that in itself is astounding. But there's other things. Interference in the court process, interference with the judge. I'm not going to say by who and when, for sake of security, and not only of ourselves, but obviously of our clients. But these are the types of things that we are having to deal with on a daily basis. Lack of halal food being served at the prison. The boys are now separated at the prison where they are kept. They're not allowed to see each other except for 1 hour a week. When we consult, we are unable to consult with them unless we through a thick bulletproof glass. We're not able to pass papers through to them. They're not able to review documentation. Signing of documentation is a hassle. All these things. We brought an urgent application last year in December saying that we want access to our clients. We want to be able to bring in our roller bags, our boxes, our files. We want more than 2 attorneys to sit with them because there's 5 of us that are working on the case. We want not only an hour to consult, but we want 2 or 4 or 5 hours. And we want to consult every day because we're preparing for an extensively long trial. Eventually, we were successful in the urgent application because costs against the state. We started to consult. They were at that time at the Kosi Mampuru prison. When they were then transferred from Kosi Mampuru, they were then moved to Sun City prison in Soweto. And when they were moved there, the whole process had to start again. We've now had to take new urgent applications just so we can get access to our client. And by access, I don't mean just being able to see them and talk to them. I mean being able to constructively and productively engage with them for purposes of preparation of trial. And we are not being allowed to do that.
Nadeem,
really,
yeah, to me it sounds truly like a violation of their basic human rights, but I'm not a legal eagle, so you could probably explain why this is happening. What I'm also wondering about is their mental and physical health, their parents, how they're holding up. They come from a very ordinary working class family from a township. 5 years in the making. Who's paying for all of their legal costs? What are the chances? I mean, you speak with so much of passion. I can see that you believe absolutely in the innocence of your clients. What do you see? How does it play out? Is the state still going to be using delaying tactics? And inshallah, do you see a light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, Julie, I remain constant on the path which pleases the Almighty. We only do what we do for the pleasure of Allah. We don't, the MLA who handled the matter from the get-go, the Muslim Lawyers Association, in mandating myself and the other lawyers of the team to handle this matter on behalf of Yaqeen and Salahuddin. We have undertaken to do it pro bono and for the pleasure of Allah. We have not taken a cent in fees, nor do we intend to take a cent in fees. There is always light at the end of the tunnel when your path is and your sirah is the path of Allah. If it isn't, then you're going to have obstacle after obstacle. And even in this, when you are on the right path and you do get obstacles, those obstacles can be overcome. And inshallah, there will be. The family are doing well. They are incredibly strong. They are committed to the deen. Their faith is strengthened. Yes, there is difficulty. There is no doubt that there is difficulty. But with every difficulty, as we know, comes ease. They make constant ibadah. The boys are in great health and in great spirits. They are really two of the most pious and spiritually inclined boys that I've ever met. They remain so patient. Their sabr and their faith and belief in the Almighty is astounding.
And you are absolutely convinced of their innocence.
Absolutely no doubt whatsoever in my mind.
Do you think the powers that be, the state, etc., are using them as an example simply because we've got things playing out in our neighboring country at Cabo Delgado? They've suggested that if they allow the twins out on bail, that's where they're going to flee to. And then also talk to us very quickly, I've got 2 minutes left to the end of this interview, about a statement supposedly, allegedly made by the defense team accusing prosecution of Islamophobia. Do you think that might have also put a spoke in the wheels and now it's deliberately being dragged out?
Julie, whether it's been deliberately dragged out, I can't comment because it's Islamophobic. But what I can absolutely tell you, without a doubt in my mind, that this is an attack on Islam. Whether you want to call it Islamophobia or not, that's fine. But this is an attack on Islam, and this is really something that you can, through the history, look at. Starting from places like Guantanamo Bay, Kandahar, the black sites that are in Pakistan and Afghanistan, and really speaking, if you look at what's been going on in the world against the Muslims, this is just a continuation of that. It's an attack against Islam. Islam is growing at a rapid rate, from 85,000 in 2006 to 2.5 million in 2021 in Britain, in the UK, for example. That's the amount of Muslims. People say that by 2030, 40% of the Russian army will be Muslim. I'm just putting this into perspective for you to show you how vast and how wide Islam is going to spread and how fearful the West are of the spread in Islam. So yes, there is most definitely an element of fear in the hearts and minds of the state and of the people that are trying to persecute innocent people like Salahuddin and Wiki.
Let's leave it there. Nadeem, I'm absolutely fascinated. You've just reignited my interest in this case. So inshallah, we will talk with you again sometime soon. And you know what? You guys keep up the great work. You'll be rewarded for this.
All we need is your du'as.
Alhamdulillah.
And,
yes.
We need the whole world, the whole Muslim world to keep their faith and their strength. And inshallah, we will persevere.
Let's keep the story in the headlines. It seems to have gone under the radar. So with the partnership between yourselves and Salam Media, let's try and keep the story alive. We'll keep in touch.
Inshallah, that will be positive. Jazakallah khair. Be well and stay safe.
Ameen. And assalamu alaikum to you. 5 after 10, exactly time for me to wrap up. Thank you for your time. Hope you've enjoyed the show as much as I've enjoyed your company. Please, please, please remember to sanitize, social distance and mask up exactly as Dr. Imtiaz Suleiman has suggested. He says those are the protocols that's going to keep you safe. So please follow those protocols. Be safe on the roads as well, of course. Until Monday morning, as always, Assalamu alaikum and Khudafiz from me, Julie Ali.
Praises to Allah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. All praises to Allah, all praises to Allah. Allah, I wanna thank you. I wanna thank you for all the things that you've done.